What is going on, everyone? It is me, the Lone Vault Wanderer, and welcome to my B3 Week collaboration series. In this video, I will be asking all of your favorite Bethesda YouTubers several questions about what we will likely see and also what we want to see of Dishonored 2 at Bethesda's upcoming E3 press conference. To get involved, I would love for all of you to provide your answers to the questions I've asked all of these great YouTubers in the comments below. Also, please share this video around on Twitter and Facebook using the hashtag B3Week. And also subscribe to my channel if you want to be notified for when every video in this B3 Week series goes live. Additionally, using both annotations on screen and URLs in the description below, I will provide links to all of the other videos in the B3 Week series as soon as they are uploaded to my channel. Please click on them to hear more Bethesda E3 2016 predictions from your favorite YouTubers, whose channels are also linked in the description below. Please subscribe to them all. So with all that out of the way, let's get this video started.
What are my predictions and expectations for Dishonored 2? My expectations is they will announce they're going to release it, they will show us game footage, it will look awesome, and we will all immediately pledge we will try to resist the urge to pre-order and probably fail. What would I like them to announce at the E3 for Dishonored 2? Mod support. I would love to see some player-made maps, perhaps some new skills, new characters, total overhauls. You know, the usual stuff the modding community can do. My bold and yet unlikely prediction for the E3 announcement of Dishonored 2 is jetpacks. We had fancy goggles, we had strange devices. Next up, jetpacks.
I loved the first Dishonored game. It was great, it was fun, I loved the gameplay, it was tight. What I expect to see is some gameplay, and what I want to see some gameplay. We haven't really seen much of that, or any really, so far. And I think for a game that's only coming out in a few short months, it is something that we deserve from Bethesda, because the game meant a lot to a lot of people. A bold expectation I want is more lore. The Outsider, it was such a cool concept they never really expanded upon. We got so many interesting people. We had a woman who could compel people, we had a child that can control rats, a lot of really cool stuff leading up to the first game. And then they never really expanded upon it at all. So I want to see some more lore in Dishonored 2, a lot more, because then I can delve into that.
Dishonored 2 is one of my most anticipated games of 2016, and it feels like I haven't played a good stealth game since the first Dishonored, so to say I'm excited is definitely an understatement. But quite honestly, what I'm expecting of Dishonored at E3 is it to be the main stage game, like Fallout 4 was last year. That's what Dishonored 2 is going to be this year. What I actually want to see is maybe some more information on what exactly these graphic novels are for Dishonored and how they're going to play into the main game of Dishonored 2. And one bold prediction for Dishonored 2, I am just on a roll with these, alright ladies and gentlemen, because for me, I'm going to go ahead and say that Dishonored 2 is going to have a co-op mode where you can play as both Emily and Corvo, maybe not the story mode, but a dedicated co-op mode just for that, something that'll really surprise people.
For Dishonored, I think they'll be showing off the new mechanics, stealth gameplay, and a little bit of the story. Probably going to go into some of the new skills as well and exploring the world that the game's going to be taking place in. I'd like to see that the don't kill people kind of karma system's been at least a little bit more adjusted. In the first Dishonored, I felt like I was kind of punished if I killed anyone. I know there was a little bit of leeway, but I felt more often than not I was being punished whenever I killed someone. My bold prediction is they'll, I got nothing.
For Dishonored 2, I predict that we'll see at Bethesda's E3 some sort of gameplay footage with a developer walkthrough. So I'm sure they'll have some sort of lead producer or lead game designer at Arcane Studios come on stage like they usually do at E3 and probably play through some portion of the game and also emphasize the fact that we can play through the game with two different characters. We can choose either Caldwin after the prologue or Corvo Atano. So either Emily or Corvo, and it's really up to us, and there's different kind of paths and different perspectives on that decision. So I'm sure they will emphasize that because it's a really cool, compelling point for the game. I'm really hoping that they'll say that the game is already playable on the E3 floor. Some sort of portion of the game is already playable since it is coming this fall. I'm sure that's going to be a thing, but I would actually love to really see that, and also get to experience a lot of the new abilities that our characters have. Maybe there's a difference between abilities with Emily Caldwin and Corvo Attano, and so I would love to experiment around, kind of get a feel for the new Dishonored. My bold, crazy prediction for Dishonored 2 is that there's a multiplayer mode for the game, and I actually don't think this is going to happen, but I think that would be some crazy sort of move. Kind of a crazy sort of move in the same sense of BioShock 2 having multiplayer. Even though I quite enjoyed that multiplayer for the small amount of time that I played it, I think that Dishonored 2 having multiplayer would be really interesting and compelling. I don't think it'd be a great idea for the game. However, I would love to play around with it. I think it'd be cool to blink around and use the different abilities, but actually on other players. And so that's a bold, crazy prediction. Again, I don't think it's going to happen, but it would be crazy if it did.
Dishonored 2, the game before Dishonored 3 but not before 1. Although it was announced at last year's E3, I doubt Bethesda will squander this perfect opportunity to make mention of it once again. It is more than likely they will showcase gameplay and new features, possibly even presenting to us a second trailer.
For Dishonored 2, we got a tease at Bethesda's last E3 event, and while I wasn't able to play through the entirety of the first game, I really enjoy cinematic teasers just as much as the next guy. Assassins with special powers at its base, really awesome concept. I've heard mention of playable demos this year, and for anybody attending, it is certainly something to be excited for. I don't really have a bold prediction because I'm not too terribly invested in it. From what I recall, the gameplay was pretty solid. Level traversal particularly, clockwork gadgets, and various powers, so from that I predict more. Pretty plain and simple.
So what we will most definitely see for Dishonored 2 at the Bethesda E3 conference is gameplay of some sort, which is really all we want, is it not? I'm just gonna leave that there. Now what I want to see at the conference is a full gameplay demo and to cover all the aspects of the game, such as unlocks, weapons, takedowns, enemies, story, and different ways to play, such as stealth, combat, lethal, non-lethal, whatever. I want to see a good amount of content in a demo for Dishonored 2, and I think we'll most likely see a gameplay demo at E3, and if not, at least a gameplay trailer. I'm just honestly super excited about this game. Now, for a bold prediction for Dishonored 2 at the conference, I think we'll hear about an online mode for Dishonored 2. It may seem absolutely ridiculous, but why else would they have not shared official details with retailers? I mean, come on, try searching Dishonored 2 on Steam. You can't find it. Exactly, so point proven.